Campo College, we have a strike that we call abanico, which actually is the seventh technique in college, which consists of an abanico and a single strike, a half abanico, and then an X strike. So we have this kind of pattern. And you notice in the middle of this, or towards the end of the sequence, there's a hip tap. So we have the first part, and then the hand comes back for a hip tap. And this could do lots of things. For one thing, it means that in the last part of the technique, we don't leave our hand out when we're striking. But it also means that there's a kind of timing delay. So we have a moment where, as we're stepping back, we have, instead of all the strikes occurring in the same cadence, we now have a beat or a half beat before we throw the final strike. So when we're doing this on a partner, I always find, sparring-wise, it's good to send the abanico towards the person's eyes. Obviously, you could be striking the temple, but in the kind of exchange, if I've hit their hand, I can immediately throw this at their eyes. It tends to make them back up a little bit, and as they do, I go for the strike. If they're still going backwards, I can do my half abanico and my additional strike. And now, where the hip tap would have been, I now tap on my partner's body before I send in this strike, and that can help put them into position for the final strike. So actually, what starts as a kind of technique where I'm tapping my hip, I get used to pulling back with the tap and pull the person's shoulder before I go for the strike. So we'll demonstrate that now with some protective equipment on. Translating this hip tap into a technique as part of College 7, there is no single way to deploy this manoeuvre. It could be used as a pushing action, as we find in tukmud techniques, or it could be used as a Pikpik kind of slapping motion, which translates into a kind of pull on the shoulder or the head in the next few techniques. Watching College 7 performed again, we see that the tukmud, the push, and the Pikpik to the hip tap, occur back to back, and that's why the technique works with either manoeuvre. We can apply the hip tap as a grab to the shoulder, as you see in this clip, or in the same timing we can execute a tukmud to the face, as you see here, or a tukmud to the chest before we execute our final strike. Or in this last example, we see the Pikpik applied to the side of the head to set it up for the strike.